Yeah, as you can see, I kind of like went a little bit crazy with the hair. It's like super short now. I mean, at least for me, I feel it's like really short. But yeah, I guess I wanted like something new for the new school year or whatever, whatever. And I know it feels like pretty weird like with these comforters because I kind of like packed on my like normal nice comforters for Waterloo. Really not digging the hair right now, but anyway, yeah. So I have this pillow that I don't normally use. Um, but the point of this video is that I'm gonna do a book review and like a book haul. Um, the book haul is basically just it's John Green. I'm like halfway through now, basically, but I'll also like briefly talk about it. Both John Green, and the reason why I bought this one is because of this one, because I really, really did not expect so much from Fault in Our Stars, because I just thought, it's young adult novels, like fiction, and it's probably juvenile, like, Twilight. I didn't like Twilight at all. And, so yeah, when my sister said she was, like, reading this and she actually liked it, I was like, okay, like, I'll give it a try. And it was actually really, really good. In the sense that, like I said, even though it has the youth essence in this young novel, like young fiction, young adult fiction, but there's this kind of depth in it, in the writing and the narration that Hazel does, well, John Green does for Hazel, but then there's the kind of realistic and but yet kind of thinking about the universe kind of way that these and how these two are brought together, and even the way that Hazel kind of not explained the title, but kind of like brought out the title, was that she was arguing with Isaac that it's not Monica's fault, and it's not your fault, it's just it wasn't something nice to do. So I guess that and all the literary allusions that I think was brought out by John Green was very amazing, like the Shakespearean stars and fate and chances, mischance, fortune. It's just like it's really, really nicely put together, and even the Anne Frank part, really, really nice. The only thing I can say about well, the movie is that even though my sister said the movie was like a transcendent, I didn't really feel so, because I feel some of the details were lost. I do understand that in a point of view of like production, like movie production, but I think some of the important lessons, like when they were in Amsterdam and they were walking down, Amsterdam, and just a lot of the scenery, the romantic like petals drifting, and the people like talking in, I forgot what language, but yeah, the Amsterdam language, and then like all that romantic essence that they could have brought into the movie was lost, and even the dinner, like I think was cut short way too much, and it lost that kind of like spark that I was kind of anticipating. Um, I can understand that some of the earlier parts of the book, or like even the later parts, which is quite tragic, was missed out. But I mean, most of the romantic stuff in the middle, I mean, I thought it could have been brought out a little bit more in the movie. But I guess that really happens a lot of the time in movies adapted from books. But for the book, I absolutely loved it, enough to say that this is probably one of the best that I read in 2014. I haven't finished Looking for Alaska, but I have a feeling that I like this one more. Just because I can, weirdly, that I don't have cancer obviously, but I can relate to Hazel more than I can relate to Alaska in Looking for Alaska. I don't know, just because Alaska seems really, really like wild and unpredictable, and like I mean I can have my wild sides and like unpredictable sides, not as wild as her, I would say, and definitely not when I was like at her age, I would say. But anyway, to round up Fault in Our Stars, I think it was really nice in the sense that it was not juvenile, it was not pretentious. It was like a lot of jokes that were not dry, that it was like really there, and even other characters like the parents, they were really rich characters, which I don't really see often in, well, maybe I don't read enough young adult fiction, but I think was quite well done. Far better than Twilight, I would have to say, and the other, like, I don't know what other like young adult fictions out there now. But anyway, on to Looking for Alaska, which I have only read to the, well, not the middle, I guess, but like 1/3, I would say. But yeah, because the book is basically chopped into half. It it calls itself, before and after, and I'm guessing it's, before, you know, maybe something happened, like, and then after, like, something probably happened with Alaska. I don't know yet because I haven't gotten to that part, but so far I feel like it's kind of like a coming to the age kind of novel. You're at boarding school. Um, oh, one more thing. I feel that John Green is amazing in this book because that A, he doesn't have cancer. B, he's not a teenager, and C, he's not a girl. So to have him write in this like kind of point of view, amazing. Um, so the difference between this book and Looking for Alaska is that he's a boy in this one, and he doesn't have cancer. So I think it's like an easier way for him to write, but uh, kind of like The Fault in Our Stars. Within the first, I would say a quarter, not 1/3, but a quarter, I would say, like, there's nothing much is really happening. It's more of like an intro, but once you get through that part, it starts to pace up, and you really turn through the pages really quickly. You don't want to put down the book. So I guess I'm kind of like at that point right now, and I'm really like intrigued by the idea that this dude, this Pudge guy, the narrator, he's intrigued by biographies. Well, not just biographies, but famous people's last words, like before they die. Interestingly, I think one of the most interesting ones is by, I don't want to say who, but someone who has the initials WW. But yeah, his last words were very appropriate for the circumstances he was in, and I was there's a lot of throughout the whole book. There's a lot of these last words, but at very like amusing points, I feel. But the depiction of the characters are quite interesting. The dynamics of school and like boarding school and the mischievousness and all of that. I mean, it's packed there. I haven't really got to like the point that I really like it, like as much as this one. But I think I definitely want to get to the point that I want to know, what happens with the after. Like, I really want to get to that point. I want to know what happened. Um, is it like pivoting, like that everything changes, his whole world is rocked. Although his whole world is rocked already, like moving from Florida to Alabama, I think he said. Well, the Birmingham, I don't know. Birmingham always made me feel like think of England. Never really thought it was related to the States, but anyway, yeah, there's this part of Alabama called Birmingham. Anyway, I think it pretty much rocked his world already, but I really want to see how much his world is rocked. And that already gets me to 9 minutes 34, so I'm gonna have to wrap up by saying I'm leaving pretty soon. I'm looking forward to Deanie's wedding on Wednesday, and other than that, see you guys on the other side of the world. Bye. Toodaloo.